I posted this question, and the variant of answers I received shows clearly that many people don't know how to operate significant figures. In this video, I want to be looking at some rules for rounding to significant figures. These are some of the guidelines or the guidance that will help you to successfully round numbers to a given significant figure. There are 5 of them here, and I'm going to take them one after the other with examples. Let's start with the first one. All non-zero digits are significant. Example, if you're told to round 5532 to two significant figure, let's take a look at the number. These are non-zero digits, 5, 5, 3, 2. It means they are all significant because they are non-zero digits. 5 is the first significant figure there. This 5 here is the second, this is the third, and this is the fourth significant figure here. So these digits are 4 significant figures because they are non-zeros. So if we are to round it to 2 significant figure, our focus will be on the second significant figure, and that is the second 5 here. So I'm saying 5532 has this 5 with the bar across it. That's why it was identified with a bar as the second significant figure, and that is where our focus will be. And then we look at the number after it. It is 3, not up to 5, so we cannot round it back to this 5. So it becomes 5500 to 2 significant figure. 55 because 3 is not up to 5, so we cannot move, round it off to the number 5 here or the digit 5 here. So we have it as 55. And we have to keep these two other digits as 00 because they are placeholders and they have to be maintained. Reason being that they affect the value of the number. If we don't include the 00, it means we'll be rounding off 5,532 down to 55, which is wrong. The closest is 5,500. So these two zeros, even though they are not significant figures, they are placeholders and should be maintained. Now let's look at the second rule. Zeros between non-zero digits are significant. What it means is that, let's look at an example. If you are to round 20056 to 4 significant figure, though the general idea is that zeros are non-significant, but in the case where the zeros are between non-zero digits, such as we have it here, between 2 and 5 and 6, we have 2 zeros. Since these 2 zeros are between non-zero digits, they become significant. In other words, this figure is a 5 significant figure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're counting the 2 zeros because they are between non-zero digits. So 2 is the first significant figure, 0 the second, 0 the third, 5 is the fourth significant figure, which is our focus. So I put a bar across this and we have 20056 to 4 significant figure. 5 is the focus. We look at the number after 5 is 6. We can round it off to the next number and that becomes 6. So that this becomes 20060 to 4 significant figure. Again, we have to maintain the 0 even though it is not a significant figure, but it's a placeholder that must be maintained. If we don't maintain this 0, we are going to lose value of the original number. This is 20,056. If we take out the 0, it becomes 2006. The value is gone. So we need to keep the 0 to maintain the value even though it is no longer a significant figure. Let's look at the third rule. Leading zeros are not significant. Example, if you are to round 0.005053 to 2 significant figure, for instance, this is the question I posted that I was getting very many different answers. The leading zeros, which are this, and this, these 3 leading zeros are not significant. That is what we're saying, that leading zeros are not significant. So the first significant number here is 5. This 0 is also significant because it is in between non-zero digits. It's in between 2 5s, 5 and 5. So it is significant. So 5 is the first significant figure. This 0 is the second significant figure, and hence our focus. So we are trying to round off to this 0. The number after 0 is 5, so we can round it down here to give us 1. And that becomes 0.0051 to 2 significant figure. We didn't include the other 3 zeros because they are not changing the value of this figure. The value of this figure doesn't change with as many zeros that we add in front. And since these zeros are not significant, we don't need to keep them. And the answer is 0.0051. It's different from this zero because this zero changes the value of this number, so it has to be there. However, any other zeros in front of this do not change the value of this number, so we do not need them. The significant figure we needed was the second one, and we've got it, 5, 1. Now, the fourth rule. All trailing zeros are not significant, but must be retained if removing them would affect the value of the number. Example, if you are to round 6,500 to one significant figure, there are just two significant figures in these digits here, in this number here. The significant figures are 6 and 5. These two other zeros are not significant figures. However, they are placeholders that must be maintained. Otherwise, the value of this number will be lost. So, the first significant figure here is 6. The second significant figure here is 5. Our focus is on one significant figure, so we are focused on the first digit, 6. So we're going to round up the second digit into the first digit to give us 7. And the answer becomes 7,000 to one significant figure, 7000. Now, let's move to the next page for the other rules. So this is the last one on the list. Trailing zeros after a decimal point are not significant unless one of them is the least significant figure. This is what we mean. Let's start with the first statement. Trailing zeros after a decimal point are not significant. If you have 331.0, this zero is a trailing zero. It is a later zero after the decimal point. It is not significant, so you can take it away and just say 331 because it is not significant. However, it's not always the case unless one of them is the least significant figure. Let's look at how we can explain this. If you are to write $500, for instance, this is the appropriate way to write it. $500.00. Even though this 00 does not change the value of the money, it is still $500. It is important, it is significant because these are the place where you can find the cents. It can get up to 99 cents. So putting in .00 means these two zeros are significant as far as the currency is concerned. So it is the appropriate way of representing it. In this case, you cannot take out the zeros. You have to keep it because they are significant. That is what we mean by unless at least one of them is a significant figure. Let's take further examples. If you are to round 0.045200 to two significant figure, we start counting from 4 because these two leading zeros are not significant. So the first significant digit here is 4. The second one is 5. The third one is 2. These two other zeros are not significant. So we're going to say that to two significant figures, our focus will be on the second digit 5. 2 is not up to 5, so we cannot round it to the previous digit, and this becomes 0.045 to two significant figures. This is now 0 because it can be rounded off to this 5. And because the 000 do not add any value to this digit and they are not the significant figure we are looking for, we discarded it, and then we have 0.045 as the answer. Looking at this, we have to round this to 5 significant figures. The first one is 4, the second is 5, the third is 2. This 0, which is the fourth one, this 0 is a significant figure, so it's the fourth one. This 0 is a significant figure, it is the fifth one, because we are told that there are up to 5 significant figures there. So we cannot ignore these two zeros. We have to include them, and this becomes our focus. This is not up to 5, so the answer becomes 0.04520 to 5 significant figure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is the answer to this question. I think there's a mistake here. 5 significant figures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, there should be another 0 here. It's a mistake. So this 0 will make it 5 significant figure because you start counting from 4 and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is the explanation of how to round up to significant figure. If you understood this, then try this simple one. Round 40.005052 to 4 significant figure. And when you do that, put your answer in the comment section and I'll be there waiting for you. Thank you for watching this video and see you in our next video.